Hey everybody, so I've got a call right now with Dominic York, and I grabbed Daniel here, my cameraman. Said, "Hey, let's actually create content behind this." So Dominic's a student in Portland, Oregon. He's been a student for a couple months, and he recently just started his marketing up. I know he's had a couple close calls. He's had a couple good solid leads. There were some issues with title and a few other things, so the deals didn't work out. But he just sent me this message at 1:35. It's 2:09 now. He said, "Yo, Zack, got another one getting under contract today. Buyers have given me verbal offers already. You free to give some advice about how to take care of the buyer and seller. I'm getting grilled with questions." So I tell my students, my mastery program students, that if they have a deal on the line, of course I want to help and serve them. Most of the time we just do a weekly support call on Wednesdays and the Facebook group. They can ask me any questions, and that's usually enough. But sometimes when there's money on the line, some of these deals could be as much as $100,000 profit on the line. And so of course I'm going to jump on the phone and support and serve them, especially to make sure they get their very first deal and recover the money that it costs to be a part of my program. So I'm going to send them a Zoom link, and I'm going to do the rest of this call on Zoom, and you guys get to sit in on a one-on-one coaching situation with one of my students. Hope you guys enjoy the content. Let's dive in. Hi, my name is Zack Boothe, and I help people just like you become ultra successful in real estate investing, and more specifically, real estate wholesaling. So you can follow along on this YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And also, if you would like to apply for my mastery program, get direct access to me and all the actionable steps to become a successful wholesaler, make sure you go to my website, linked in the description below, and book a call so you can either talk to me or one of my onboarding coaches to see if we are a fit to help you in your journey to become a real estate wholesaler. Enjoy the content.
What's up, brother?
Going on, man?
Oh, not much. Just running around scrambling. I'm glad you messaged me when you did. I have a few minutes, so it's worked out great.
Sweet. Yeah, I get you there, man.
So good stuff, man. I'm proud of you for staying consistent over these last few months. You've consistently been on the support calls. You've consistently been having questions for me. It's really interesting to me how many people jump into my program and don't implement the action steps. And I know who's implementing the action steps because they have questions and they want support from me, right? It's so crazy how many people sign up to become successful and then don't take any action. So hats off to you for doing that, right?
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
Love it. So this is sweet, brother. We've got another lead. So you're going on the appointment later, it sounds like?
Yeah, at 2:30. Yeah.
Gotcha. So what questions do you have? Let's start there.
Yeah. So I'm basically, this would be the first deal I'm putting under contract ever. So,
okay.
I think I might have made the mistake of sending it out, blasting it out to my cash buyers before getting it under contract.
Yeah. Definitely you're not supposed to do that, right? That's why we have an attorney and talk to an attorney. Definitely a huge mistake, right? Progress, not perfection. We'll say that. Definitely do not want to send it out, because when you sent the message that you have the appointment tonight and you send it out to your cash buyers, I was like, that's concerning. So let's talk about first getting the contract, right? That's really step one. So why do you feel so confident that you are going to get it under contract?
Well, because I've been working with the seller for for months now, and we've had a deal in place, and then the buyer fell through, and he was ready to go, and the buyer fell through on it. So, and I said, hey, if I found another buyer for you, would you want to move forward? And he's in with the terms that we have in place, and he said yes to that. And he's spoken to his wife, and wife's
and when
on
he said
board.
yes, why didn't you send him a DocuSign? Why don't you have the contract if he's verbally agreed to it?
Probably because I didn't. I don't know. I guess I messed up.
Yeah, you got to get that contract. So when anyone says yes, 100%, let's do it, you say, so, okay. So if I say 100%, let's do this, you would sign an agreement right now. If they say yes, say, okay, can I drive over there? Can I send you a DocuSign through email? What's faster? What's better for you?
Right.
right? And some people don't even have email, which is crazy. You know, they own houses, but they don't even have an email. It's happened multiple times to me. And if that's the case, you send a mobile notary or you go yourself. It's
Okay.
out of state, you send a mobile notary. So you need to get that contract now, like today, before the appointment, like call them, hey, can I send you a DocuSign or can I come out now? I'd like to get moving forward on this. I'd like to get it to my title company before they close to start paperwork, right?
Right.
And so I would highly suggest getting that contract now. So what did you guys verbally agree to?
We agreed to a 385 purchase price, and it was a seller finance deal.
Mhm.
So 2% interest,
Wow.
and was a 10% down payment, and amortized over 40 years,
Wow.
and a 4-year balloon was
Oh,
the
4-year balloon. Okay.
yeah.
So awesome. What is the property worth fixed up?
Like 385.
So it's about the same.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be a huge spread here. So your cash buyers, they were interested in something like that.
Yeah, I didn't think that they were going to be,
Mhm.
which is my thinking was, oh, I put in the terms that, a 3% assignment fee, 3% of the purchase price. So for me, but when I sent it out, I was thinking, oh, these terms aren't even that good. The property's
They're
retail.
pretty decent.
Yeah.
Because with inflation, people, I mean, I don't think I would put my own money into something like that, but it's better than you can get off the MLS. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A lot
Right.
better. So 385 times that by 0.03. So your cut would be 11 grand,
Yeah.
which isn't too shabby, my friend. Pretty
But
badass that you turned a deal that probably would be dead to most people into a potential $11,550 deal. I love how you put that deal together. The low interest rate is very attractive to people, right? So the low payment where it's amortized over 40 years instead of 30 or less, right? It's going to be a smaller payment so people can afford to get in there. So they'll, someone that acquires this property, what they'll most likely do is just keep it as a rental for those 4 years and then refinance, right? And hope that it appreciates. So when they refinance, they can refinance their cash out. Or what they'll do is they'll put a tenant in place that has an option to buy, like 2-year option to buy. And then they'll do one more 1-year option to buy or something like that. And then if they still haven't cashed them out, they've recovered, I'm sure they'll recover, 5 to 20 grand down on the rent to owns. But yeah, no, like it does make sense for the end buyer. So it's a very creative way that you structured that. How did you I don't necessarily want to say convince the seller, because the seller has to make their decision, right? It has to be in their best interest. How did you learn what their needs were, and how did you figure out that they would be interested in seller finance?
Yeah, so from what the seller told me, he has a large portfolio of probably about 10 properties, and that he wanted to sell them slowly, and that he didn't want. I know that income was a concern for him, continuing to have the income from those properties. So I just thought, after listening to you know your podcast, your videos, and the videos on Spotify, or the podcast on Spotify about seller finance, I thought you might as well try and pitch it to him, see what he thinks. And he fortunately knew all about it. Like, I think he actually had
I love
suggested it. Yeah.
I love that you have a very experienced investor, yet you're able to get in there with zero experience and still be able to start getting your hands dirty and potentially making a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I really didn't know. This is my first deal. I didn't know what I was doing, right? So he's real cool about it. We've got a pretty good rapport, and he understands kind of where I'm at, and
So it sounds like you went and built a good relationship. That's step one, right? To figure out why they would do seller finance.
yeah, right,
Then you talked about his options. It sounded like he knew about seller finance. So it wasn't like you convinced him to do it.
right.
But you just figured out what worked for him and tried to see if it would work for an end buyer, right? Because you don't have the capital or the ability to close on it yourself. So you figured out a way to structure this where you can get a piece of the pie and still bless everyone else that's involved, right? Like that's the win-win. I love it. It actually reminds me of my first motivated seller, very successful investor. He was a developer, and he had 2 rentals, and I was washing his windows. Actually, it was back when I was still a window washer. And yeah, and I was like, man, I want to pick up 2 rentals this year. And he's like, oh, that's convenient. I've got these 2 properties. I'll sell them to you for $500,000. And I was like, oh, okay, great. I don't think I can get a loan for that. I don't have the 25% down the bank would require. I don't have the debt to income. I just don't qualify in multiple reasons. Yeah. He's like, okay, that's fine. I'll be the bank. I'll do the seller finance. And I was like, okay. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And then he's like, how much could you put down? And I was like, a couple $1,000, It's like nothing compared to the actual down payment. But anyways, I ended up getting those properties. I closed on them, pretty much just handed the properties over, put tenants in place that had an option to buy me out. And they both exercised that right to buy me out. And I made over $100,000 profit in like a year and a half between the 2 properties.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it was, it was kind of that eye-opening experience that there's a lot of opportunity, right? And if we meet the right people, if we do our marketing like you've been doing, and we build relationships with people and we understand what they're going through, what their needs are, and figuring out a way to structure it to where it works. A lot of people just want a quick cash offer, even if it's low, just to be done, right? And that's a very classic cash offer, as little down as possible, for the biggest assignment that you can get. I mean, the traditional wholesale, that's what majority of our deals are, but we do have non-traditional like this. So we actually have a deal we're working right now that I'm actually going to keep for my own portfolio. Dude is like 3 or 4 months behind on his mortgage. He only bought it like a year and a half. So there's like no equity, but his monthly payments are, in it's really good condition, right? I could put a tenant in there. His monthly payments are like $1,400 a month, $1,500 a month. And I'd rent it for $1,800 a month. Cool. So I'm going to take over his mortgage, keep his mortgage, get him current. That's my down payment. He walks away and I just rent it out for 20, 30 years. It's enough, I'm making enough to pay a property management company to do okay. There's a lot of benefits to it, but yeah, there's lots of ways to be able to get into this game, but it's so important to keep that marketing consistent like you have, right? Because if you don't have leads, you don't have anything. You can't do creative finance. You can't do structured, traditional wholesale stuff. So you're doing awesome, man. You really are.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Is this fun stuff?
Yeah, no, this is cool, man. I was real skeptical at first, like, man, am I gonna be able to do this? Coming from, but when I heard that you were a window cleaner, and that's where I came from. I was a window cleaner.
I didn't know that. Why didn't I know that?
Yeah, I don't know.
How did I not? So did you have your own window washing business, or did you wash for someone else?
Yeah, I did. I had my own business, and
What was it called?
York Window Cleaning Services.
York Window Cleaning. Do you still have anything on like YouTube or online from anything you did?
Oh man, I don't think I've got some stuff on Facebook. Yeah, it's still, some kid bought it. So.
Oh, that's cool, bro. Yeah, I still see my Zack's glass cleaning trucks running around every once in a while.
Really?
It's like, hey, I know that company.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Have you ever seen my window cleaning tutorial videos?
I've seen. You know what, dude? The S technique.
Yes.
One of the first ones I watched. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like 10 million views now. It's hilarious. That's funny, man. Well, no, it's funny because I remember when you first started getting on the calls a couple months ago, I could tell there was a little bit of skepticism, and I remember encouraging you, like, just stay consistent to your marketing. You'll continue to produce leads, and then you got a lead, and then you got another one. And even though they didn't quite work out, but then the cool thing too is you're surrounded by some amazing people. So I have, Thomas Burnett and Scott Dallinger and Justin Dallinger and Helpert Ruiz, all in your same market. Yeah. Right. And they're all doing really well, students of mine. Right. And it kind of reminds me of Thomas. And wasn't it Thomas that introduced this to you?
Thomas. Yeah. Mhm.
And, you know, it's funny because Thomas was the same way. He was very skeptical, and he was like very standoffish to me when on the first few calls, you know, and like, I could tell he's like, man, did I just waste my money?
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, he would see me be like, Zach, what's up? You know, it's so good to see you.
Yeah.
It's funny. It reminds me of what my mentor taught me. He said, you know, I hire mentors for everything I try and accomplish in life, right? And I hired a mentor to help me be a good coach, to help me serve and help my students be more successful.
Right.
And he told me, he said, Zach, your students don't care about you. They're not coming to your funeral. He said, they're only there because you are going to add more value to their lives than they add to yours. So don't forget that, and always add more value than you ask for. And I'm so grateful for that advice, man, because now I do have friends, right? Now I do have people that I consider friends and people that I connect with, but it wouldn't have happened if I wasn't so focused on adding value to your guys' lives. But it also, the funny thing is, like, the more I give, the more I serve you guys, the more fulfillment I get, the more success my students have. Because like you said, you came in with a little bit of skepticism, but you saw my confidence and you saw the students' confidence that are doing deals. And it's like, that breeds more effort, right? Because if you have belief and confidence in the process, you're willing to make those investments. You're willing to spend money on marketing and not going hanging out with your friends on the weekend and go do driving for dollars instead, you know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's been a wonderful experience. It's been an honor to coach you so far these last few months, man. You're doing really well.
Absolutely, Zach. I appreciate it, man. It's been it's very, it's been a good thing. So I
Cool,
appreciate
brother.
it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you need anything, let me know. But yeah, just get the contract and do your best to get it moved to your cash buyers. So,
Will do, man.
okay, brother. We'll talk soon.
Bye, bro.
All right. Bye.